Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here with my Flosstube update number 319. Today is Saturday, February 3rd. It's already February. And this is, like I said, my update number 319. So I don't have... It won't take me very long to talk through what I have to talk through today, hopefully. So, I don't know. It's a good thing or a bad thing that it's not doesn't take very long. I don't know. So, so the month of February started a couple days ago, and last month I had been working. I had finished my WIPGO project. I hit the goals for those. And then the other things I worked on were the Rabbit October and the Snowy Reindeer. Those are my other secondary things for WIPGO in January. And I didn't work anymore on either of those. And I had hit the goal for the Seahorse Soiree Bush Cornu and didn't do any more on that. And I showed the bear that I had hit the goal on that, and I didn't do any more on that. So I think, yeah, I think last week I had hit the goal for those. And I didn't do any more work on those because I was trying to work a little more on the owl trio, and really that's all I worked on until the beginning of February. And I think maybe the first day of February I worked a little bit more on that. So I'm very far along. There's like one little branch that here connects this, and there's, like I said, in each of these leaves there's one black square. Yeah. So that that I have to do for each of those, and then the back stitching around them. And like I said, there's a little branch over here. And then across the top here, there's a branch and some leaves here. And then there's this black and white border all the way around. So it's not quite as finished as it seems. It seems like it will. Hold on one second, please. Okay. So anyway, it's coming along. This was supposed to be for Rachel for her birthday, which was the 29th. So I'm going to try to squeeze it in there and keep working on it. But so I've got all the owls stitched, except for the back stitching and French knots that go on there. But otherwise, the owls are all stitched, and this branch across the bottom. And like I said, these three leaves, this one I think has a little branch already, but this one doesn't. I have to put that in still. And then this branch and leaves, are all that's left for the regular stitching. The one branch and then the branch across the top. But the owls themselves are all stitched. They just need to be, there needs to be some back stitching and all that. You can't, it's a little hard to tell right here, but he's got little white eyes here. But, so yeah, that's coming along pretty well. So, it still has a lot to go, but it's mostly done, almost done. A lot of border. The other thing I worked on was, I want to say, just as an aside, we had a craft night last Saturday? No. Last Friday, I guess, yeah. Is it Friday? Well, we had talked about it Saturday, so maybe it was Saturday night? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. but my sister Eve had talked about had sketched a little owl and did a painting class for us, and I was not at all confident that I'd be able to paint the little owl, but my owl kind of came out okay. So she taught very simply, how to do it in terms of like, draw a circle for the head, draw a circle for the body, draw the little wings and an oval for the wings and an oval for the feet, and then you put some claws on there, and basically circles for the eyes and a triangle for the beak or whatever. So yeah, and just it took us step by step through the painting of the owl. So there it is, and he's kind of cute. And, I they're it's pretty good. So anyway, that was my owl that we painted at Rachel's. We had a craft night, but it was also actually a little surprise birthday party for Rachel. So so the owl trio thing is my gift to her, but it's not done. So she had my sisters made also some quilt tops for her, but had of course take everything back. So I was like, "Here's your birthday present. Give it back so I can finish it." So I think pretty much almost everything she got was like that sort of thing. Here it is. Give it back so I can finish it. But it'll all be eventually finished for her. So anyway, that was the end of January. And like I said, I've been stitching on the owl trio all that last week of January up until this month, and I've squeezed it in a little bit as I've been working at the beginning of this month. So on the first, I did start my winter cross stitch camp piece, but I also did part of my Rabbit series. This is one of my secondary whips for WIPGO, but I did it on the first. Excuse me, my eye. Something in my eye. I did it on the first because traditionally, supposedly, you're supposed to say rabbit on the first day of the month for good luck or whatever. So I wanted to work on my rabbit one of my rabbits on the first. Speaking of which, this is the February rabbit. I did I FFO'd as part of my FFO campaign last year. So this is the February one. Those are the little hearts. Yeah. And so eventually all the rabbits are going to be finished the same way on these little disc things. They're supposed to be like, what do you call it? A garland, and you can write on these with chalk or whatever. But yeah, this is the FFO idea that they each have. So I have this little washi tape and these little tags, and I think I bought these discs at Michael's, but everything else, I bought the tag and all that stuff at Hobby Lobby. And then I made cording for the edges here, and I used the same just 6 strands of floss for the little thing to hang the tag on. And I mounted this on foam core, I think, and then foam core, and then glued it to the disc. So that's February. Anyway, we just used that for our video, so I thought I would show that here. So speaking of rabbit, so the one I decided to do for this month is the December one. So I have like all of the whole year except for January, February, March, which were FFO'd, finished in FFO'd last year. They were finished sometime before that. But so I just have, in several of the squares, it just says rabbit. It doesn't say which one. But so So I chose December for this month because it was so far along. So this picture is a little wonky. I mean, it's triangular. Excuse me. The design is square, and for the picture they put it this way. But I want to hold it this way because of where I started. So I started in the corner here, this way, this corner, and yeah. And so I put in this rabbit, and his little tail is there, and his body. And so I had this rabbit, and I think the beginning of this one here, like about that much. And so I thought, okay, I'll just finish all the rabbits, and then and so I did all those, and when I got down to this one here, I was looking at it, and this little green branch thing is, well, this was in the right place, right? Because I started with this. Sorry, there's a little fuzz there. But this rabbit, that was the first one I put in back whenever I worked on this in December of, not last December, but December a year ago or 2 years ago. This is in the wrong place. It's off by like one stitch, I think, this way, one square, and it should have been a little bit over because this, it's wrong. And so like if I put the green frond that's supposed to go here, if I put it in the right place, it's gonna bump up against, there's like little red berries that go along here, big red berries that go here, and I think the green fronds that go over these two rabbits are gonna bump up against that, but I'm not gonna move anything. They're just gonna bump up against that because then everything else here can be right. It's just this one thing is going to end up being wrong because these are wrong in the wrong place. So anyway, yeah, when I was all the way down here, this was already finished, so I had done all of these, and I was down here when I realized it was wrong. So like I said, I'm not going to fix it. I'm just going to fudge it and just hope that it's just hope that it's not too too bad, when it comes. I don't, like I said, I don't think anything will interfere. It'll just be up against something that maybe there was supposed to be a gap, But anyway, so that's my rabbit. That's just one day, basically, a little bit of or maybe two, something, I don't know. But so, I don't know, maybe if, I can, I wanted to keep working on it, but it was, pretty late at night, so I thought, I better go to bed. I better go to sleep. But so I may find some time to do more of that. I haven't done either of my main WIPGO calls yet, which are the Mama Cat kit that I have. It's a Dimensions kit, I think, and the Beaver. I haven't started on either of those yet, but it's just the third. Today's just the third. But I did do my project for Winter Cross Stitch Camp. So, as I said before, I'm doing Tinymodernist Mouse's Christmas decorations. And the challenge was to stitch anything with an animal in it. So there's a mouse. And like I said, this was one of my WIPGO secondary secondary boxes. It's actually a new start. I had not started this one. I have in one of my WIPGO boxes the other two Tinymodernist mouse designs, Mouse's Lucky Day and Mouse's Beach Outing. She may have more in this series. I don't know. I haven't looked into any of them. I just like the other two. And I saw this one, I want to say, was it the Jingle Ball that I bought it? So Mouse's Christmas decorating, Christmas decorating. So I started this for cross-stitch camp, winter cross-stitch camp. Goes from February 1st to the end of the month, which in this case is 29 days. But so I started in the corner, and I'm right here now, at the bottom of this, excuse me, I'm on this leaf right here. So I don't have much to go on the border here is left for the green of the border. And then I just have to put in these, I think they're holly berries. And then there's a few ornaments in there, and then this border thing will be done in this border corner. And then I want to do the green of this Christmas present because it's the same green as this. And since I'm a color completist, that's what I want to do more of that. So there's what I've got so far. This is part of a little Christmas bauble that has some green in it. So I did that as I was working around there. And like I said, the green present goes right here. And yeah, that's the only place where that green is used on one of the baubles. So yeah, after I finish this border thing and do that present, I'll be done with all the green. So but yeah, so I have until the end of the month. So I'm hoping, since it's not a very big design, it's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 60. 60 by 60, I think, basically. Maybe like 59 by 59 or something like that, but so hopefully I can get that done. And the other thing I was working on is, I don't really have a picture of it, so I'm going to just flash it real quick. It's for my nephew, he's graduating, so it's going to be, I just have a few days to work on it. It's mostly done. I do have to tweak it a little bit. It's a verse. It's Psalm 25:21. May integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait for you. So it's I do have to tweak a little bit because I changed my mind about part of the design. So I'm gonna have to work on that. But so I did have to punt a little bit on this design because this fabric that I'm using is it's a light green. It's from a little pack of what's labeled as embroidery fabric that I got at Hobby Lobby. And there are two little packs. One has basically earth tones like beige and other things like that. And the other pack has colors like greens and black and all that. So I was going to use the black fabric from this pack, but it's very, very tiny, tiny, tiny. I don't know if it's 46 count. Hold on one second. So I was going to use the black fabric, but it's so tiny. I don't know if it's higher than 46 count, I think. I don't know what the count is because it's, like I said, it's just, labeled as embroidery fabric. But I was going to use black, but I couldn't see it. Even, I couldn't see to count the stitches at all because I did a corner start here. I couldn't see what I was doing at all. So I changed my mind. And I was going to use, I couldn't decide between this light green fabric or the dark green fabric. But I settled on this instead. And these are silk threads. I meant to say that the rabbits are done with Gloriana silks. And so it's 1 stitch over 2 on this. This is 32 count Verona Carré that I got at Hobby Lobby, which once upon a time they carried all these different colors. And so I used a couple of the silk threads colors from that set to do this. So this is how far I've gotten. So I use this lighter green and this darker green here. And this is there's supposed to be two S's there, uprightness. So it's almost done. There's just, other backstitch words. And then the word you, I had originally just had it backstitched there, but I think I'm going to put it under here and have it stitched like this, cross stitches. And the other, there's other wording is going to be backstitched like this. And I was going to do it all in this color, but then I realized that the backstitching with one thread wouldn't show up well by itself with this color. So that's the backstitches are going to be this darker green. I think this is called green apple, and this is evergreen dark. I think is the Gloriana names on these threads. So this is almost finished. And I don't know exactly how big it's going to be, but it's not going to be very big. Maybe, that. And I might have something to mount it on. Otherwise, I might have to go to, Michael's or Hobby Lobby or someplace to look for something to mount it on. But so, like I said, I this doesn't have a, but like I said, it's very tiny. This is one thread over two on this fabric. So, yeah. So, like I said, I have a little bit of tweaking to do, and then I'll be done. I meant to say with these other ones, this is I think 28 count linen that I dyed myself, and this is just like a little scrap left over from the pieces that I did in December. This is the fabric that I have a lot of trouble like measuring it because it's very wobbly. You can pull it this way and pull it, and it just like everything. When I tried to measure it to cut it for those Christmas things, it would just like where I thought I had it straight, and then it would like, So I just did a corner start with this, and so I wouldn't have to. I didn't, wasn't going to measure it or cut it or anything. I just like measured with my corner gauge, and then started. And then when I'm finished, then I'll worry about cutting it out. So, yeah. So that was. I think it's 28 count linen. And of course the owl trio is the kit Ada. It's 14 count Ada that came with the kit. So really, I think that is all I have to do. Oh, the owl trio uses mostly Weeks Dye Works threads. It's Weeks Dye Works, and then like two DMC colors are on there. So that's part of the cross stitch camp thing. So I think really that's it, because for the rest of this month, I want to finish the cross stitch camp piece, of course. And then I have 7 days on each of the other two WIPGO calls. And then, excuse me. Oh, Winter Cardinal etching is a new start for one of my secondary WIPGO calls. I think I showed that last week. Sorry, that's the dog. But I did make a working copy of that, so I can work on that. And I think I have a piece of fabric. I don't remember if it was the 25 count Lugana or another piece of Murano Carré from Hobby Lobby. They have one color that they still carry usually, and that's ice. And then they have 25 count Lugana in a couple of colors. So I think that I bought ice, and I might use that. I have a bunch of like white and off-white colors that I could dye, maybe. And I have a few pieces of fabric that, that I could use the etching on. But I think I might go ahead and use the ice color that I have, because the design is, it uses sticks and twigs. It has like trees and then the cardinal, and so he uses sticks and twigs for the trees, and uh, cherry cobbler. They're colored cotton. Is that the right colors? Fancy floss. So it's like I said, those two colors. So I think the ice white off white color will be fine for those, that they'll really stand out on there. So I think I don't know what the call for is for the pattern. I don't know, but that's I think what I'm going to use. Um, like I said, I did two others from that series, the summer one and the autumn one. Um, these are by Cecilia Turner of Heart and Hand, and I don't know what I used, what colors I used, for those, but or what count, so they would be matching whatever. But I'm not too concerned about that. I'm just gonna do it. So, but yeah, so February is just getting started, and we'll see how that goes. So, I don't have anything else to really talk about um, for this weekend's update. Um, I'm going to a symphony concert tonight, uh, and so I want to get some things done this afternoon before I go, including eating lunch. I haven't eaten lunch yet, and it's kind of late in the day. That clock's not, it's dead. It's not right. It's yeah, it's like 1:30, and I haven't eaten lunch yet. So um, I'm gonna go do that. But yeah, I do need to I want to make a trip out to the attic, I think, to get the cherry cobbler thread for that uh, winter cardinal etching piece. That's I don't have, um, and I kind of want to buy that. Um, I don't know, but like I said, I don't. I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe I could go today, but I don't think I have time for that today to go all the way out there and all that. But anyway, so hopefully next week I'll have some more progress, and I will have maybe hopefully started my WIPGO projects next week. But until then, I think that's it. So I will talk to you next week. And until then, happy stitching and thanks for watching. Bye.